All right, welcome everyone to the stream. Got my squeaky chair back, so that'll be fun. Okay, so we are working on fog today. I have gone ahead and thrown up a little bit on Trello what we want to work on today. So let me pull that up. So last time we got to work on the HUD menu. We did a little bit with the axe and getting that sprite drawn. And then we've done a lot with the actual menu and picking up and equipping weapons working, which is super cool. But all of that is so that we can start now working on all of the combat elements. So we have to get, excuse me, we have to get all those moving parts working. So we got attacks that we have to do, enemies, and things like that. So today we are going to kind of reevaluate what we're working on. We don't want to get too hung up on trying to polish everything right off the bat. Like there's a lot that goes into prototyping that we don't know if we're going to do enemies in a certain way. I don't know if I'm going to do attacks in a certain way, and so I don't want to start polishing all of those until we get the like the base foundation figured out. So I think for right now, I'm just going to throw attacks in here. I don't know what that looks like yet, but we're going to figure that out. And then enemies. And honestly, I think we're just going to sit and brainstorm those two concepts pretty much for the whole stream today. I will check one thing real quick, and then we're off to the races. Okay, so I think the easiest way to kind of start dealing with how we do the combat mechanics is to create a couple enemies, and they're just going to be like these white squares that move around and do stuff. The other thing I was thinking about was basically I create like a bullet hell kind of type of system just for testing the movement. Because if you can dodge around with a bunch of moving objects and everything feels good, then that means that our movement mechanics are good. B, we want to do attacks. And so far in my head, the way that I've been thinking about it is like a Soulsborne style animation dependent attack combat system. And basically what that means is when you start an attack, you can't do anything until you've finished it. And then, that strings together combos and all of that, but that opens a can of worms, because then technically you could have one attack, but if you string together like 2 of those or 3 of those, then it could turn into 3 different attacks in like sequence, but it's only technically one like type of attack. And then you could combine attacks. So there's all sorts of possibilities with that, which is good because the more the better. Because it just means that this system would be, not restrictive, which obviously we want. Because animation dependent type of stuff is inherently restrictive. Because if I want to stop moving and go the other way, I have to wait until I've completed my like full axe swing or something like that. And if that doesn't feel good as a player, the whole game is gonna suck. So we want to go ahead and figure out all of that now, so that later on we can see how to alter everything and if we want to change stuff. Okay, so the big thing that we did yesterday, or last time, not yesterday, it's been days, is we created this upgrade menu. It's great, pops up, shows up, that's about it, and there's the little X button up here. We have a place to equip weapons, so I grab this, throw it up here, boom. If I click on this, then it would pull up axe. If I don't, it wouldn't pull up anything in particular. So cool. And then my weapons drop right where I've left them. Honestly, I haven't messed with this since last time, and honestly, it feels really good. This is so cool. When you hover over each attack, it's going to show all of the information over here, and then you'll be able to click and drag one of your 3 possible options, because you'll start off with this one unlocked, and then these are your 2 active 5 days ago. Oh man, yeah, it's been a while. But after you drag both of these options into here, then these will be like your 2 active attacks, and then this is like your pool of attacks that you can choose from. So you start with this one unlocked. You'll pay in scrap to unlock one of these. Once you do one, it cuts off the other branch, and then you can only do these 2, and then you pick one of those. So you'll get 3 that you can select out of the whole pool, and then you'll equip like 2 of those attacks over here. So that'll be cool, but for now we gotta actually start doing the attacks. So I think in terms of like the whole shebang of like what an attack is, it's gonna have an animation, some sort of like attack area. Either it's an AoE, like area of damage attack, or like a singular target attack, and then it'll have like damage and all of the other information with it. I think what I'll focus on, because that'll be a lot of animating, and I'm not sure that I'm sold on all of the attacks right now, is I will just start with kind of creating the system for like how long does the attack take, and then I'll freeze the character so you can't move while you're attacking. And actually I should probably create little icons so that you can equip each attack. So let's start with that, because then depending on the attack that you have equipped, that'll change what your attack buttons do. And I think I'm just going to use like, I don't know if, can I pull it up here? I'm just going to use your mouse buttons for like your attacks. So it'll be something like that, like your main and secondary. I've actually mapped a lot of this out to be played on the, like an Xbox controller. I don't want to figure that out though right now, because that's going to be a whole mess. Okay, so first things first, let's figure out how to pass in attack information into the player. So I think if we just create like a function and we just call it like attack, we can change all this later. We would want to pass in our weapon. So I think if we pass, I think we use the attack info class, because that has information like how long is the attack, the damage, and it has all of our animation sprites saved in this class. Okay, so we send in attack info. So it takes attack info, and we'll call it like, I don't know, a deck. It could, okay, so we're gonna get information from this. So there's gonna be things like attack damage, duration, and animation sprites. We're not gonna use sprites, probably not even damage right now. We're just gonna focus on duration. And this is where I might wanna create an enumerator, and this is a, basically it lets us freeze the code, and so we can like pause. So if we need a delay, we have to create one of these functions. I might create a separate function for that, just so that way when I call this function, all I have to do is call attack, and I don't have to start an enumerator function, because they're just a little clunky to deal with. Okay, so we do this. We go attack delay. I could call it like player delay, player freeze, and then that way I can use this whenever I want for like dialogue. For instance, I could freeze the player during cutscenes, and I could even do it when you pull up the menu. So I actually if I create 2 of these, I can create an overriding function. So one of them, hey, what's up? Welcome. One of them will take in, is it a float for duration? Oh no, it's one of these. Okay, so I created my own custom enumerator, which might be an issue. I wanted this because on the drop-down menu, let me see if I can pull it up real quick. I wanted to be able to pick between like low, medium, and high and not type in a number. That's going to be an issue though if I want to use that. Where is it? Weapons, yeah, attacks. So it's right here. So the duration, I can pick between low, medium, high. How do I pass that into here? I think I can do this actually. If I just copy this enum and I put it inside of Keegan, I can even make it a private enum. I think we can pass that in, and because technically these 2 enums are defined the same, I'll be able to pass it in, I think. I might have to mess with it if not. Okay, so one takes in duration, the other will take no duration. So technically, this one is the overriding function. So that way I could call this when we pull up the menu and it will just freeze indefinitely. Otherwise, if we pass a duration, it will only freeze for a certain period of time. So let's just try that out and see what happens. For now, not quite sure how to do indefinite freezing, so I'm just gonna make it freeze for like 2 seconds if I do player freeze, even just like 1 second. Although we have to do a little bit more than this. Okay, so player is frozen, and then we'll have to go unfrozen. Technically this isn't quite how it works, but it is good enough. Okay, and then what we'll do with this is essentially we have to parse the duration, so we have to go if duration equals okay, how do I do this? Hang on. Okay, I gotta look this up. Okay, Unity check enum equal to. Okay, here we go. Okay, so it becomes a like special variable. Okay. So car, okay. So what we do is we go if duration equals duration dot low. We will wait for like half a second. I don't know. Oh, it is raining like a storm outside. This is crazy. It's like, it is so loud. I wonder if it can pick up on the stream. We go medium, high, and then for each of these it'll be like, I don't know, 1 and 2. Okay. So this makes it pretty easy to do attacks and stuff, because then all we have to do in our original attack function is we just go dude, it is so loud. What in the world? That's crazy.